Okay, hopefully by now you've had a look at the videos on the chain rule and the product rule. We're going to go through in this video the quotient rule, and this is our third and final rule. It's probably, when you look at it, the most complicated to look at, but if we use our u and v substitution like we have been, it's going to make it a lot easier. Hopefully, if you haven't watched the first two videos, please go through and watch those now, and hopefully this video will make some sense afterwards. So what the quotient rule is when we've got a function being equal to one function divided by another function. So we can go through, we can try and work it all out and find the derivative of it, and it just gets really messy. Let's just skip that. Let's make lives easier for ourselves. So let's use the quotient rule. Here we have what it looks like. So this is what the derivative of one function over another function looks like. So you might look at this top line here and think, hang on a sec, that looks like the product rule. Well, it does. The only difference is with our quotient rule, our sign here is a negative. In our product rule, it's a positive. And we're dividing all of this by our v of x squared. So I've got a function here, y equals 1 plus 3x over x squared plus 1. So you've got one function divided by another function. Let's use the u and v's. Let's look at them over here, go, okay, so we have, let's write it out. U is equal to 1 plus 3x, and v being equal to x squared plus 1. While we're here, let's work out the derivatives. So a derivative of u is just going to be equal to 3. Remembering the 1's just going to drop off, and x to the power of 1 minus 1 makes it x to the power of 0, which is just 1, so 3 times 1 is just 3. Next one we're going to look at is, what is the derivative of v? Well, it's just going to be 2x. That should make fairly well sense by now. It should be, you guys should be almost pros at doing this by now. So let's go through and substitute it back into this formula here. Alright, so y dash is just going to be equal to u dash x, which is this one over here, so 3, multiplied by v of x, which is just this one, x squared plus 1, minus u of x, which is just 1 minus plus 3x, multiplied by the derivative of v of x, which is just 2x. And we'll divide that by v of x squared, which is just this term here squared. So all we have to do is put x squared plus 1, put some brackets around it, and square it. Alright. It looks alright at the moment. If you were to give me that, I'd probably give you some marks for it, but it can be simplified. And if it can be simplified, let's do it. So, y dash. So, 3x squared plus 3. Remember, 3 times x squared, 3x squared, 3 times 1, it's just 3, minus 1 times 2x is just 2x, plus 3x times 2x is 6x. And again, x squared plus 1 squared. Can still simplify it further. Let's do it. 3x squared plus 3 take 2x take 6x squared. Now I've got a squared term up there, so let's put it in. So remember, this is just going to change over here to be a minus sign. L over x squared plus 1 squared. I'll scroll down a little bit. And finally, and this is where we just collect our terms, simplify it all again, you're going to have 3 minus 2x minus, not 6, 3x squared, and divide it by x squared plus 1 all squared. And that is your answer. So hopefully this makes a bit of sense. Using these use substitutions, working at your derivatives first, it makes, when you substitute it back in, it makes it a lot simpler, and you're not trying to work out a derivative and then multiply it by something else on the go. Use this. Substitute it out into u and v, find your derivatives of u and v, then substitute it back into your formula. It will make your lives so much easier. Have a look through on page 42 of the textbook through example 9, and especially the second question there, question B, where you've got the square root of x divided by 1 minus 2x all squared. You're going to have to use a chain rule for it. So have a look through that. Hopefully it makes sense. It's a bit more trickier, but the answer that you get is still going to be fairly simple. They did go through and substitute out u and v and work out the derivatives of those. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Go through, have a look through the examples again, and hopefully all will be well. I hope you've enjoyed the final video on the differentiation rules. If you've got any comments or feedback, please come and see me and let me know. Thanks for watching.